What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel, Greenleaf Exclusive, where we cover Houston Rockets exclusive content. Now, if you're new to the channel, you come across the channel, hit the like button, subscribe. Make sure you guys hit that notification bell. That way you get every update when I drop a video. Now, let's talk about the Houston Rockets. The Rockets prioritizing Fred VanVleet and Dillon Brooks, right? League sources say they see Toronto's Fred VanVleet and Memphis Grizzlies' Dillon Brooks at the top of the Rockets' wish list, widely thought to be headlined by former Rockets All-Star James Harden. Sources say the Raptors realize it's likely to reacquire an annual salary of at least $30 million, possibly higher. To secure VanVleet's return, the Rockets, provided they miss out on Harden, are said to be ready to go such links to sign away one of the last on-court connections to Toronto's title-winning team from 2018 to 2019. Now, it's rumors, things like that of that nature going out about Fred VanVleet, on the bag. It could be a short-term deal as far as like a 2-year deal. So if that's the case, I'm seeing numbers like 80. That means we paying them $40 million a year. And if we get them from 30, 35, and you break it down to 2, maybe 3-year deals, something like that, I'm cool with it. But 40 a year, man, you stretching it now, bruh. You stretching it now. But let's just talk about Fred VanVleet's game, because he averaged in last season, 2022-2023 season, he averaged 19 points, 4 rebounds, and 7.2 assists. And in 69 games, 39.4% from the field and 34% from the three, shooting 89% at the free throw line. And then when you look at a guy like Kevin Porter Jr., who's averaged, I believe, 19 points, 6 assists, and 5 rebounds, kind of similar numbers. And Fred VanVleet's a champion. I can see why the Rockets going after him, but I think people are really looking at the fact like that. How much are you going to pay him? How much are you going to pay him? And the Rockets are high on Fred VanVleet, along with Dillon Brooks as well. I'm not too high on Dillon Brooks. I understand his fit with a young team like the Rockets. You bringing in veterans, a young veteran who has playout pedigree. You're not asking for much money. 12 point. I believe that Dillon Brooks wants more than the 12 million mid-level exception. So you're looking at 13 to 15 million per year. But by that being said, with Fred VanVleet, you're looking at championship pedigree with Fred VanVleet. That's not just, bite the raw apple. The dude is putting up as a point guard. He's not the biggest point guard. He's not the most athletic point guard. He's not the best shooter, but he plays basketball. He understands basketball. He plays team-winning basketball. Something that you would look for in the Ime Udoka way. Now, the James Harden scenario, I believe they using Fred VanVleet as a option if they can't get James Harden back into town. That's why I told you guys James Harden's still not out the loop. But as far as for what we see this team needs, they need veterans, smart veterans that put in their work, that are true professionals. And you can just tell how Ime Udoka really wants this team to really present going forward, how they want to be shaped and formed. And bringing in guys like Fred VanVleet, you have the Brook Lopez's of the world, and like I said, Dillon Brooks too. But I just don't understand why we can't go after Grant Williams. Grant Williams, someone who's, in my opinion, off the court, fits better for this team than a Dillon Brooks, Grant Williams. And when I said that a couple of weeks ago, people didn't really know he was expected to be a free agent. I'm like, why we can't go up the guy like that? Off the court, you can see him really, mentoring these guys. He's a young guy as well, and he's not on dumb rah-rah things, getting guys in trouble, leading them down the wrong way. And even on the court, he's doing his job, and they pretty much do the same things, Dillon Brooks and Grant Williams. But that's either here or there, back to Fred VanVleet. Y'all, just tell me one thing. Are you paying Fred VanVleet $40 million a year on a 2-year deal? Or is he even worth that? I don't think he's worth it. If you're gonna do that, I'm not gonna even lie to y'all. You might as well sign James Harden. You might as well, if you're gonna play VanVleet $40 million, I understand he's a champion. I understand, who he is in his league. Like I say, Kevin Porter Jr.'s numbers really mirror each other. But $40 million? Nah, family, I'm not doing it. I can't do it. I can't do it. That's $40 million that we have to pay. I know he said his camp wants over $30 million, but at the same time, I'm looking more to that 30 million, maybe 35 million a year mark, just like I felt with James Harden. If he can accept $35 million from the Houston Rockets, I can see that, because then you're not overpaying and you're going after big fish, but you're breaking your money down the right way. You can go after the Brook Lopez's as well. You can go after the Dillon Brooks or the Grant Williams of the world, or the Bruce Browns and things like that, depending on what they want from their contract. But you outright paying one dude $40 million, like I say, you might as well go after James Harden. I'm sorry. But I know how the Ime Udoka team and the Ime Udoka's philosophy as far as like what he preaches on the court in his defense. You're gonna get a lot of off ball things going on, and with James Harden, he is who he is in the NBA, and I don't know if you're gonna get a lot of that going forward. But Vanvleet, you've seen that he can play with the ball in his hands, with the ball out of his hands. He's doing other things on the outside of the court when the ball's not in his hand, letting everybody. It's a lot of ball. It's a lot of movement. Team basketball going on, and so. When you look at Fred VanVleet, that's what you're gonna get from Fred VanVleet. And at the end of the day, I'm just weary about how much we're gonna pay these guys. We don't want to overpay for nobody. From the Brook Lopez, we really heavy on a guy like Brook Lopez, Dillon Brooks, like I said, according to reports. But it's the money. It's the money. I don't want to overpay and overspend on guys. It's not going to really, be a true leader to these guys. I believe Fred VanVleet can. In Toronto, as a youngster, it just seems like Fred VanVleet has that mindset of, I just come on, put my shoes on and go to work, get the job done. If the coach wants this from me, then I'm going to do that. You know what I'm saying? And if you're a real OG of the channel, and when we come back to Fred VanVleet and James Harden, and you're gonna find out what you're gonna do with Kevin Porter Jr. I always said, family, that Kevin Porter Jr., I can see him coming off the bench for James Harden, because of James Harden's pedigree and his numbers, 20 and 10, whoop the whoop, all-star, things like that. You can say that for VanVleet as well, but James Harden accolades outweighs Fred VanVleet. Fred VanVleet's championship outweighs James Harden's recent shortcomings. So when it comes back to Kevin Porter Jr. coming off the bench for one of these guys, I always believe that Kevin Porter Jr. will come off the bench for James Harden, just off the fact that that's one of his mentors, one of the, guys that he can understand, like, okay, if the coach wants this guy to start, then I'm gonna come off the bench and learn under what he's doing as a guard and as a playmaker guard. But Fred VanVleet, is Kevin Porter Jr. really going to take a step back and let Fred VanVleet start over him when they numbers are similar, mirror each other? He was in Toronto. I mean, Houston, yeah, you can call it empty stats, no wins behind it, things like that as well. But when you look at the circumstances, Kevin Porter Jr. as a head point guard was dealing with a team that hasn't really formed yet. You talking about a second year of a rebuild. You talking about a dude who really doesn't know how to play point guard, but he's trying. He put up 19, 5, and 6. And is he really gonna take a step back from a guy like Fred VanVleet? Now, I'm not saying Fred VanVleet is gonna come off the bench, because that's not gonna happen. I'm saying, is KPJ willing to come off the bench for a Fred VanVleet? But we shall see. And we're going to talk about it more. If you're new to the channel, make sure you guys hit the like button, subscribe. It's your boy Greenleaf. I'm out here, family. Peace. Peace.